Howdy, I'm Rudy, your friendly neighborhood tractor mechanic in Alamogordo, New Mexico, with Roadrunner tractors and equipment. And yes, Friday last week, we had a customer call with some issues with his tractor, said his hydraulics had just quit working. So we loaded up to go look and see what his issue was, and sure enough, he had like a brush hog mower, hydraulic mower deck on the front end of his tractor, and weight box on the back hooked up to the 3-point, and he was dead right in the middle of his field. And we couldn't get none of the hydraulics to work. We messed with it while we were there and nothing would happen. So we were able to get the weight box off of the 3-point and loaded the tractor up. We brought it back to the shop to figure out what was wrong with it. And this customer has a third function valve set up on this tractor, which means inside the cab on his lever control for the loader, he's got 2 little buttons on it. And when he pushes those buttons, it runs hydraulics out front. So if you were to have a grapple for grabbing brush out on the front end of this thing, you push them buttons and it opens and closes the grapple. That's what it's designed for. Well, our customer did a little bit of research of his own, and he discovered that, well, he thought he discovered that the tractor would run as brush hog. Well, after we got it here to the shop and we got the brush hog off of the front end of the tractor, suddenly our hydraulics started to work. The front end raised up, the 3-point raised up, and it kind of made me a little bit curious. So what just happened? You know, all we did was unhook that brush hog. So I went down and I pulled out the third function valve. On these tractors, a lot of them come with an expandable valve body. It's designed to just run a loader. Well, with that expandable valve body, I can pull off a blocking plate, put a valve on and some hoses, and now we got hydraulics to the front end of the tractor. Well, I kind of thought maybe that valve might have been giving us some fits. So I went ahead and we pulled it off. And one of the symptoms that it was giving us is when he would start the tractor, the mower would continuously run as if one of the buttons were pushed, allowing fluid to flow through. That's another reason why I went to this valve. So I pulled this valve off this morning, and first thing that I had done is I tested my 12 volts to make sure that my solenoids were getting their 12 volts of power, and they were. And then I went through and I checked the ohms to make sure that we were ohming good, and we ohmed quite perfect. We ohmed at 4.5, which is about where it's supposed to be. And then when I went and pulled off the other side, it came off kind of really rough, real sticky like, and you can see the corrosion. And that corrosion can mess with the way that the magnet works this. There's a plunger inside here with a spring, and it is kept closed. And when you push your button and you energize the solenoid, that pulls the little plunger on the inside, it pulls it to open that valve. And what we have is stuck valves. So what I discovered is you can see the very end of this push right out. See right there on the very end of that. Well, that plunger was flush with the top of this part, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be allowed to move back and forth like this. And when we got to it, that was stuck to the top, which means that this valve was stuck open. So I went and I pulled the other side off. The other side was the same thing. It was stuck open. And there's supposed to be a spring inside here that keeps these closed. Well, this valve, it just pops back and forth. The spring on the inside is broke. And same for this one. And as soon as you put hydraulics to it, those valves pop out, those little pistons pop out, and they get stuck, and you have free flow. So I believe the diagnosis for this tractor is going to be a new valve and a little bit of customer training to not use the system that he was using. These tractors, they put out 6.7 gallons a minute of hydraulic fluid flow to run the hydraulics. There is a total of 11.7 gallons a minute with the steering system, the hydraulic steering system. The mower deck that we were trying to operate was a 14 gallon a minute system. So it was demanding more fluid than the system could give. The system is designed to be on and off, where we were running this mower deck, it was constantly on, which very quickly would heat up the oil. It would very quickly heat up the valve. And I believe that that's what caused our issue. So our customer is going to get himself a brand new third function valve. And I believe that's going to be his cure. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a blessed day and enjoy.